Hi guys, and welcome back to Life's Sweet Journey. I'm Melanie, for those of you that might be new here, and this used to be a travel, all about our travels on the road. Babe and I lived in an RV and traveled around the US for about 7-8 months, but we've been back for a while now, and obviously we are not traveling right now. There's a quarantine and we are not even allowed to travel. So I have started incorporating one of my other loves on here, which is books. I did my first book chat a few weeks ago and figured I'd do another one. And I was going to talk about the books I've been reading during quarantine, but instead I figured I had to talk about my first true book love. And so I'm starting today's book chat with Harry Potter. And I'm about to go super geek mode, so I hope you will join me. Maybe grab a glass of wine, because this is Harry Potter for adults, and why I think if you're an adult who has not read Harry Potter, this is the perfect time to start. And so join me for this week's Harry Potter book chat. Cheers. So, why Harry Potter, and why do I think you should read Harry Potter during quarantine? Or if you have already read Harry Potter, you know how much amazing magic it is, and I think you should reread it if you haven't. So I have read all of the Harry Potters, oh gosh, I don't even know how many times. I have multiple versions of them, and I thought I would share the illustrated editions because they are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. If you have read Harry Potter but do not have the illustrated editions, you should get them. They're about 25 bucks on Amazon. And I know you can get them at Barnes & Noble when they reopen, your local bookstore, wherever. The illustrated editions are truly beautiful. So, why should you read Harry Potter as an adult? Well, a little bit of my Harry Potter backstory. So, I am a big reader. I've been a reader my entire life. She get it from her mama, for sure. Mom was and is a huge reader, and I was in high school, I guess, when Harry Potter came out, and didn't actually start reading them until college, because I swore I was not jumping on the Harry Potter train. I did not like fantasy books. I was a very much realistic fiction girl, and I was like, there's no way I'm gonna like those. I'm not jumping on on the Hogwarts Express or on the Harry Potter train. I was all about not jumping on book trends at that point. But now there's a reason people jump on book trends, because typically if people are jumping on the trend, it's because the books are amazing. So Babe and I met my senior year of high school, and he has a brother who is 10 years younger. There's like a 10-year age gap between the older sibling set and then Kevin. I call him Queso. It was during the hurricanes, my senior year of high school, and I had a book. I was over at Babe's house, and I finished it, and I had nothing else to read. And the 4th Harry Potter book was out at that point. It had just come out. Queso had just gotten it, and he was reading it, so I picked it up to just kind of leaf through it and see what all the hype was about. I got 2 chapters in, I closed the book, and I said, I cannot read this right now. Where's the first book? Kevin, give me the first book. And I was hooked. And so I read books 1 through 4 pretty quickly. As soon as the 5th book came out, I reread 1 through 4 again, then read the 5th. So I've read the first 4 books, at least 7 times. And then I also have them all on audiobook. I listen to them as I go to sleep. Yes, I am a true Harry Potter freak. But Harry Potter is not just for kids, you guys, at all. It is truly a magical story, but also has so much depth to it that adults can enjoy it, even if you're not a fantasy reader. I just got my mom to read them for the first time, and she ended up loving them too. She is usually a historical fiction fan, so very different from Harry Potter, but she loved them. So I am a purist, and the first 3 books are my favorite, just because they really draw you into that world. But here are the reasons I think you should read them during quarantine, now that I've just dropped all that backstory on you. First of all, a lot of you may be home with your kids. Well, you are home with your kids if you have them, because they're home with you all the time. Harry Potter is such a great book to pick up and read with your kids. Maybe you've waited a while for them to get to a certain age and they're there and now they're home and you need something to do to kind of fill the time during the day. Guys, Harry Potter Illustrated. If your kids are younger, maybe start with just the first book, second book, even into the third, but the third starts to get pretty dark. So if your kids, get worried about dark, scary things, maybe just stop after the first couple books. But the illustrated books are perfect for kids and reading them as a family. I read them with my nieces when they spend the night, and also happy to say I got my niece hooked on it. I went to her house and she was reading one of them, the actual chapter book, on her own, and my Harry Potter heart was so proud, so proud. But these are beautiful. They're really awesomely illustrated. They're illustrated by Jim Kay, and guys, I have no words for just how stunning the pictures are. So maybe you have kids that aren't really super ready for chapter books, or they like the pictures still. Harry Potter Illustrated is the way to go. Maybe you do a chapter a night, maybe you're just doing the first book, read them together, or your kids are old enough to kind of read on their own. You can read one chapter together, then they can read the next by themselves. I know you may think some of your kids may be too old to be read to. No. Your kids are never too old to be read to, so please read to them. I still love to be read to. Babe actually will let me read to him when we are on road trips. And so I got him to read the Harry Potters by doing dramatic readings in the car. You guys, he's such a trooper. But I love dramatic readings. And so I'm actually going to read some of the first, maybe some of the second chapter of Chamber of Secrets in my next video if you would like to listen, or have your kids listen, and then maybe they want to keep reading it for themselves. Just a little preview, but that's one great reason to read them. Something to do with your kids right now. I can remember when Reese is the little girl I nannied for, who's not little anymore. She's 15 and very grown up. But I can remember the day her mom finally let her read them. She had to wait. I can't remember what grade she was in. Maybe 4th, when she was able to read the first Harry Potter book. But I remember getting over there and she was like, Miss Melanie, I'm reading Harry Potter. And so we went to the park after school that day. Trent just played on the playground, and Reese and I literally just sat and read Harry Potter, and it was the best day, one of my best days. I've obviously remembered it to this day because it just made my little heart so happy. But got my main man on my glass. I actually painted this along with my always one because I am just kind of a walking Harry Potter cliche now. This is my favorite line of all of the books. Always, Severus Snape, Alan Rickman truly was the only person that could have ever played that role, and he did it phenomenally. But that is my favorite line in all of the books. And I've got my Accio wine. And yes, I do ice in my wine. It's actually a port spritzer, but I'm a wine in my ice kind of girl. So another reason you should read Harry Potter right now is because they actually have the first audiobook. So Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, the audiobook right now is free on Amazon. They also have a awesome website for a lot of online Harry Potter stuff right now. J.K. Rowling has released like all this fun stuff for stay home, enjoy the magic. So you can use that website. You can also listen to the first book on Audible if you are more of an audio listener. And the audiobooks, you guys, are incredible. Jim Dale is just a phenomenal narrator, and he narrates all the Harry Potter books. I do have all of them downloaded, and I listen to them while I go to bed. They just kind of play. I put it on for 30 minutes. I set it really slow, and then it's just like the melody I need to drift myself off to sleep. Another reason to read Harry Potter right now is just because you should. I really have no other, there's no other reason other than it is truly a book that will, or well, a series, it's not a book, but a series that will live forever. I truly believe that. And so starting it now and then being able to read it and share it someday with my kids, my grandkids, if I never have kids, all my nieces and nephews, whoever, I will share it for the rest of my life because it is such a good book. I say it, there's 7 of them. So if you didn't know, there's 7 books total. They go through Harry's 7 years at Hogwarts, which is the school for witchcraft and wizardry. And it's just about his story, the friends that are in there with him, Ron, Hermione, all of the characters that I just love so much. And you just really get connected to each of them, and you just want to keep reading. The magic is truly, truly wonderful. So again, check out the illustrated books. I have the 7 set of the novels. I have all 4 of the illustrated books. Right now they are up to the 4th. So Goblet of Fire is the book that I had started reading when I was like, no, I have to start at the beginning. Goblet of Fire is all about the Triwizard Tournament that takes place in this book, which is really cool. And again, just a beautifully, beautifully illustrated book. There is the Dark Mark. So it's like, how do they fit this all on these pages? But there's a lot of pages that don't have illustrations, so they're able to kind of illustrate the rest of the book. Quite a few pages that don't have illustrations in this one, but the ones that do are truly beautiful. I mean, the book itself, they make great coffee table books. If you're a book nerd like me, I also have some of the house books, which are really fun. It's just the first book right now, but they've made house books out of them, and so there's Gryffindor, Slytherin. I actually got the Slytherin house book because it was the most unique to me. I do not consider myself a Slytherin, but the book, just at the end of it, it has different witches or wizards who were part of that house, and it gives like a bio on them, and it's just really cool, and it has their picture, and I really wanted it because I wanted the bio on Snape, and it's just a really fun book to add to your Harry Potter collection if you have one, like I do. So I'm going to collect all of the illustrated books to keep reading with my nieces when they come over, and my nephew. He doesn't sit as long to read, but maybe one day. So that's about it for why I think you should read Harry Potter. They are just, I just totally went geek mode on all of this, but they are, yes, again, truly, truly magical stories. And I will be reading one of my favorite chapters. So one of my favorite characters, if you do not know anything about Harry Potter, his name is Dobby, and he is so wonderful, but he is introduced in chapter 2 of the Chamber of Secrets, and so that is what I'm going to be reading in my next video. Just reading and asking like some prompted questions if you want to enjoy and follow along, answer some of the questions. It's just going to be a brief snippet so that you can kind of see a little bit of the world of Harry Potter. I also chose book 2 because you can already listen to Jim Dale reading it for free right now on Audible. Download it, even if you're not going to listen to it. Just download it. It is free right now. Use this awesome gift that J.K. Rowling and their publishers have put out there for the quarantine, and seriously, read it, and then you can listen as I do a dramatic reading of chapter 2 of Chamber of Secrets, and just come enjoy the magic with me. So come back tomorrow if you want to see that. All right, guys, enjoy the journey, or in this case, enjoy the magic. Cheers.